Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.
The need to open a masjid on Cazenove Road goes back to before I was born.
Allahu Akbar.
We came to this borough back in 1969. At the time, we didn't have any place to pray for prayer purpose, nor we have any place for children, for madrasa, etc.
Everything grows out of need, and the need here was that you had people who just come as the first immigrant community, primarily made up of Indians from Gujarat. You have people from Pakistan, Bangladesh, now you have people also from Somalia, Algeria, Turkey, etc. So this masjid was established to primarily cater for the new community that was being built up here, just in the absolute neighborhood of the Jewish community, which is very interesting.
Back in 1970, we set up a society called Naqibul Islam Society. About a dozen or so people of us were here at the time. Each one of us paid £101 membership fees, and then we purchased a property in Faubourg Road in 1973.
So the Clapton and the Stamford Hill, Stoke-newington communities had a place together, and then after that, the Muslim community began to grow.
In 1978, after 5 years there, we sold that place. We then bought this place there, number 70 Cazenove Road. We bought a place next door there and converted it into a centre. That's where the North Muslim Community Centre first built up there.
We started delivering services from 1980. We had a youth centre, and that in effect began from the mosque next door and the cricket team. The vision was just to have a place where young people can go, socialise and be in a safe environment. And that then led to more discussions. It's not just us young people, there are younger people who actually need to be engaged when they're not at school. So a play scheme was started in a church crypt in Old Hill Street. There was more realisation, actually we just don't need a youth centre and a play scheme. We need a community centre because there are needs of the older people as well. In 1984, the community centre was started in Cazenove Road.
We then purchased number 72 in 1986. We then built this prayer hall in 1988. Caters for about 2,000 people. Then we also identified the need for housing, etc. And from this very centre there, so Masjid, the centre is all part of the same community. We set up a thing called North London Muslim Housing Association.
It was established by North London Muslim Community Centre during 1986, when the Muslims felt that they were not getting their share of housing, particularly in Hackney. We provide social rented housing. Originally, there was an understanding between North London Muslim Housing Association and Hackney Council that it will cater for Muslim communities and Muslim couple and individuals. But that's no longer the case. The association caters for anyone that is in housing need.
Our role was to try and nurture individuals so that they can gain from being members of the society and become contributors in society.
During my last year of university, whilst I was doing my dissertation, I came and done a case study on North London Muslim Community Centre. I formed a youth forum in 2006 with the support of existing volunteers and youth workers and the young people. Our first year we raised over £20,000. Part of that money was to renovate this space which hadn't been renovated for 18 years.
We are an independent boys' school, aged from 10 to 16 years old. We have 115 boys on roll. We have a strong faith ethos, which everything else builds on top of, really. Our community girls' school started in the early 1990s, and that was Tabor Girls' School. The attention came to boys in the late 1990s. The initial idea started with some members of the community coming together, and they initiated a proposal which was then put together to the whole community of Stamford Hill. And we initially asked to start in the upper floors of the mosque on Cazenove Road. We started looking for a building, which is this building, and we purchased this building in 2001. The community, even until now, has been very supportive of the school, and they can really see the progress the school has made, and that progress would not have been possible if the community was not behind the school, really.
We moved here in this new premises in 2010. We were based in Cazenove Road, only a few doors away from the community center and the masjid. We started with no properties. Currently the association has 785 properties.
We never done this type of work before, for it took a long time to get to the stage where we are now. But we all learn, and a lot of hard work put on by a lot of people.
The community for years have wanted a Muslim faith school within this area. A couple of years ago we set about preparing and applying so that we could actually have a free school within the Cazenove Road community.
I've lived in Stamford Hill all my life. I've built 8 years of experience working with children, and I've had the pleasure for working for Ihsan Children's Centre, and now I'm working for Olive School. And working for these two organisations, they play an influential role in our community as they're helping to build the future of our next generation.
Well, the Olive School here in Hackney is a 3-form entry primary school. We've opened with a reception in a year 1 year group, so we've got 90 children in each of those, so 180 altogether. But when we're full, right through from reception through to year 6, we'll have 630 children.
The benefits of this mosque have been so widespread. If you look back at the name in Arabic for mosque, which is masjid, the word masjid means the place for prostration. So one of the primary functions of this place is where Muslims can come and bow down in front of God and thus pray. Muslims are social beings, they interact with society, and that's why you have to provide a number of other functions. We're providing educational classes, spiritual classes, after school Islamic education, where we're seeing about 300 children every day, ranging from the ages of 5 to 15. Then we have adult classes. And one thing was that many masjids are sometimes not able to cater for women. That's something, alhamdulillah, we've been able to cater for here. We have visiting scholars coming and delivering different spiritual themes. We provide consultation services, providing funeral services, marriage services. There's just so much that you can do as a faith-based community.
NMCC is a key partner of the Muslim Jewish Forum. The whole purpose of this particular forum is to get the two communities together to engage in some sort of dialogue.
In the last 3 years we've done a big extension at the rear of the premises where we provide a youth hall.
To play cricket, football, table tennis. We have an advice surgery. We have a library.
Mental health services, generic advocacy services.
We have an LD Luncheons Club. Another very important part of our service is the Ihsan Children's Centre.
So we work with families with children under the age of 5, and the type of services we offer is play and stay facilities for their children, back to work support. We focus very much around healthy lifestyles in the community. Some of the work that we do involves community outreach, so we go out into the community and take our services there.
A lot of families don't know about children's centres, they don't know about services that they can access, activities that they can attend. This is a nice way of breaking down the barrier and getting people to come to us.
Over the last 10 years, it's become more inclusive. So the community centre is Muslim-led organisation, but open for all people.
We have good partnerships with local schools.
There are 4 schools on this road now. We've got Jubilee, Simon Marks, Olive Hackney that's just recently started, and Tawheed. So we form part of that family.
This is a pretty perfect spot because we've got a lot of people around that we can actually work with. We've got Tawheed Boys School down the road. The mosque have been absolutely amazing with us in helping us set up the school and been really accommodating. We've got this wonderful site here in the community centre. I'm from up north, I know very little of Hackney and particularly this area, and so there's a lot of people that have welcomed us with open arms.
I was here for about 5 years approximately, and over 5 years I made really good friends, and obviously it's a different experience to state school and really big schools.
Whereas the state school will have 30 in a class, we have 20 pupils in the class, so there's more one-to-one teaching there. Things that you would normally take for granted in a state school, like a canteen, a library, a play area, classroom sizes, we are short of those things. We've achieved a good school, a school where children come here and academically progress above average.
I received probably a really good education because I got into one of the top 6 schools in the country as well. I recommend this school to as many youngsters as possible, not just because of the quality of education, but I've seen like people who come out from state schools, they don't get the same like personal experience with the teachers, and the level of education here, believe it or not, is a lot higher than in state schools.
We had our inspection from the DFE. They were really, really impressed with the education that we were giving the children, and we just want to go from strength to strength and grow and always be popular, always be full, and always give the best for the community.
We want to really develop real role models here. Somebody told me once that all the jobs you can get a lot of satisfaction from, but a teacher really is a job where you're actually building a nation.
As a community centre, we fulfil the purpose and role of a community centre, which is to tap into all the different aspects of a community and to work positively with these different stakeholders to achieve the best possible outcomes for the community we serve, as well as for the organisation itself as well.
We're continuing to develop more properties. We've started in Hackney, we now work in 5 London boroughs, and we will continue to develop affordable housing for the local communities in the areas we work in.
Currently, we think we're providing a number of services. There's other services that we need to provide. As we identify different needs, we can react to it. We'd like to do an open house, for example, for our non-Muslim neighbours to come in and see what's going on here. The great thing about this area in particular is that we have other complementary institutions that help to take some of the burden away from us.
The community centre is very highly regarded by many people around the country. What has been achieved from this community centre is something that is an example to many, many people. We are here to live amongst the community, to be together with others, that we have to share in their pain as well as in their happiness.
أشهد أن